can we please be upstanding as we welcome the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs as he represents the Vice President for the official closing. Thank you very much for that, policeman. I believe we can take our seats now. Right, I'd like to welcome you all once again to the official closing of the Gambia International Social Protection Conference. It's been 3 days of very interesting learning opportunities for all of us, very interesting panel discussions, very interactive as well. And I believe all in all, the objectives of the conference have been achieved. And we will see that now as we have the presentation of the conference recommendations and the commitments, and that will be done by one of the participants of the conference. Before that, I'd just like to invite all development partners who are meant to give commitment statements. You can make your way forward. We have some seats reserved in front for development partners so that you can easily make your way to the podium and deliver your commitment statements. Honorable Minister, I would like to thank you so much for joining us. The Honorable Minister would be overseeing the closing ceremony as he steps in for the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. And so now, I would also like to, of course, acknowledge the presence of Ms. Rosar, who is representing the United Nations RC, and we also have Dr. Sintike with us, who is representing the ECOWAS Commission, and we have a representative from the EU as well. He was with us earlier in the panel discussion, and of course the Executive Director of the National Social Protection Agency. And so now we would have the presentation of the conference recommendations and the commitments. Oh, so we would have, this is my personal Auntie Hannah. Can you please make your way forward to deliver the reports? Can you please make welcome Ms. Hannah Jai?
Thank you, Samuel. Good afternoon, everyone. This is a call to action on the strengthening and financing social protection for long-term resilience. Like Samuel said, over the past 3 days, we've been having rich discussions, and among other recommendations, this is a call to the government on areas identified to focus on. One being ensure consolidation of the 2015 to 2025 policy and renewed commitment towards achieving the 2026 to 2036 national social protection policy. Another area is to align the national social protection policy and programs with sub-regional, regional, and global agenda, while diversifying social protection programs to reduce vulnerabilities. Also, to adopt sustainable financing strategies, including expanding fiscal space by advocating for international debt relief to free up resources for social protection, shifting budget allocations from less productive expenditures to social protection, reforming tax systems, public-private partnerships, building on existing global financing mechanisms, including development corporations to increase annual social protection spending. This should include increased budgetary allocations to the Social Protection Fund and the Disability Fund. Another area is to design adaptive social protection system for human development. We all know adaptive social protection is quite new. Maximizing existing opportunities while addressing critical challenges to achieve universal access. This should include institutionalizing adaptive and disaster responsive social protection mechanisms by 2026. Integrate disaster risk financing instruments within the national social protection system to enable rapid scale-up of assistance during shocks such as floods, droughts, food crisis, etc. This includes establishing a national contingency financing mechanism and linking early warning systems with social protection delivery systems. And lastly, to scale up diversified, inclusive, and shock-resilient social assistance coverage, including cash transfers, disability grants, child benefits, etc., for the policy priority groups, with a particular focus on gender, children, and persons with disabilities, using evidence from the Gambia Social Registry. By 2026, update and maintain the functionality of the Gambia Social Registry dataset for targeting and planning. Government should complete the update of the Gamisar dataset to ensure that it remains comprehensive, accurate, and relevant for informing policy and programming. This should include ensuring its interoperability with the National Identification System and other information systems. The dataset should be regularly maintained and used as the primary targeting tool for all social assistance and resilience building programs to enhance coordination and efficiency. Thank you all. Thank you.
Until now, we will have the handing over of the conference recommendation, and this will be handed over to the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs as he receives it on behalf of the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. All right, thank you very much. And so moving on, we will now have the commitment statements by our development partners. And for our first development partner, we would like to call on UNFPA to deliver a commitment statement.
Good morning. I was standing there as the resident coordinator, so instead of speaking on behalf of UNFPA, I think it would be better for me to say that I'm speaking on behalf of the UN country team, knowing that UNICEF should have been on the podium and many others. So, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Gambian abroad, thank you very much for standing in for the Vice President. For the UN country team, as we mentioned during the 3 days of the conference, we've been with the government of the Gambia to deliver on social protection. So it didn't start yesterday, and it's probably not going to stop tomorrow. So our commitment will be to continue to ensure that the Gambia, through its national development plan and aspirations, is looking into leaving no one behind as per the Sustainable Development Goals, but to also ensure gender equality and women's empowerment. And when we say leaving no one behind, we of course think as well about people with disability, those who live in rural areas, and the poorest of the poor, and those who have no voice. So the United Nations as a whole, who are present and not present today in this room, will continue to work with the government and will ensure that no one is left behind, as I mentioned before, but that we also lift people out of poverty so that we don't have to have social protection in the first place, because we would have been prepared enough. And yesterday, you and I, Honorable Minister, sat in the other room on early warnings, and I'm happy to hear that our colleagues from the Social Protection Agency talked about it this morning. So it's not just about lifting people out of poverty, but we also have to be prepared for shocks. The shocks will always happen. We were all here a couple of years ago when COVID happened, and many other things. So we are in a country that is prone to climate change, disasters, and others. But together, as one UN, we will continue to support the government, and rest assured. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sar. For our next commitment statement, we would like to call on ECOWAS to deliver a commitment statement.
I think I've demonstrated our commitment by wearing this face cap. It shows that action speaks louder than voice. So whatever I'm going to say here is my voice, but you know, ECOWAS is part of you. And like His Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Gambians abroad, representing the Vice President, thank you for your presence this afternoon. And like you said, I'm here, I'm on an errand, and just like you, I will make sure that I deliver the recommendations to the President of the ECOWAS Commission, through my commissioner also, Professor Fatou Sosa. We will continue to, just like the UN said, we will continue to work with the Gambia in terms of social protection. We were here in 2023. Here I am again, and I think some of these recommendations will form the basis of the regional dialogue that we will have in 2026. Your Excellency, one of the things that also has been passionate in this last 3 days is the issue of persons with disability. And I think this is something also, we have a regional action plan on disability inclusion, and I think we will capitalize on what is happening here in the Gambia, employment and disability inclusion, working with all our social partners. So, what as ECOWAS we believe in is that peace and prosperity is for all. what happens in Gambia, if it doesn't happen in other member states, of course, then the Vision 2050 will not be a reality. So we need to provide a regional platform to share the knowledge, the experiences that have come through this conference to a wider variety of our member states. Let me end by congratulating the government and the people of the Gambia for hosting this international conference that has reflected the international best practice in hosting a conference. Thank you very much.
I would like to call on the European Union as well to give their commitment statement.
Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Director, National Social Protection Agency, and good friend Diba, representative from ECOWAS, representative from UNFPA, dear ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank everybody, in particular the government of the Gambia and the World Bank, who have set up this important event. I have been able only to participate in today, but in the few hours that I've been attending, I've seen very in-depth, rich discussions, which I think are very encouraging for the next steps forward. Would also once more commend the government and the World Bank to have set the stage for social protection in the Gambia with the NAFA program, so important also to the establishment of the social registry, which has so many potential uses for the future, even for line ministries. I would like to give a particular thank you to Director Dieber for our joint work for the past 3 years during the budget support operations. Has been the doors were always open, but not only were they open, you have been working very hard and helped us to pass the bumpy moments. And yeah, just a big thank you to you in particular. Finally, since 2017, the EU is providing budget support through a modality that we call State and Resilience Building Contract. In the current version, it's a forced program. Social protection has been given a particular importance, but also for other areas are closely related: public financial management reform, the overall objective is service delivery; national development plan, the overall objective is service delivery. So we are now in the phase, and I would like to end with this, to start our joint formulation with the government of our 5th joint budget support program, starting hopefully by the end of 26, and we'll make sure that addressing vulnerability will be given the due importance during that formulation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Do we have FAO with us to deliver the commitment statement?
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, and then EU delegation, the Director of National National Protection, what do you call it? Special Protection. Yeah, the EU and ECOWAS as well, all protocols of that. Well, I'm just here delivering the commitment statement on behalf of the FAO rep, who is unable to attend in person due to other commitments. I think so far the FAO Gambia is the country office of the FAO special agency, which is working on eliminating hunger in the world, and is working in having 195 member states, working in over 130 countries. Gambia being one of the offices where it is operating. So it's working with the government of the Gambia through the country, to the country programming framework. So this country programming framework was developed to cover the period 2024 to 2028. So during this period, some important areas have been highlighted where the FAO will work with the government to address key priority areas. So these key priority areas are already outlined in the National Development Plan, plus the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, plus the other pillars in the NDP, Pillar 1, Pillar 4, Pillar 5, and 6. So in the country programming framework, we are also working in 3 priority areas and 5 output areas. So in all these areas, we are going to address, contribute for the attainment or contribute to the attainment, of household resilience, and security, as well as social protection, through increasing food availability, through funding technical cooperation programs that will contribute directly to improving the resilience of households against shocks that are ongoing or that are expected in the near future, such as drought, such as floods, all this can have harmful effect on the livelihood of household members. So we'll contribute towards it, and by working to eliminate hunger, that also is a big plus point in the combating, difficulties that households face. So in a nutshell, this is what we are to contribute, and therefore the contract who could not make it this morning, to attend this closing ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have the World Bank with us to deliver a commitment statement? I believe not. Okay. So, moving on, we would now have the vote of thanks that would be delivered by the organizing committee of the National Social Protection Agency. And this would be done by the Executive Director of the NSPA, and that is Mr. Momodu Kedeba.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs and Gambians abroad, stepping in for the Minister of Social Protection and of course the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, the UNFPA country rep, standing in for the UN Axis Office, Dr. Sindike all the way from Abuja, representing the ECOWAS Commission, and as he said, my old friend, or I think old friend, Tariq, representing the European Union. This is looking more like after an 11-hour flight, we have to land. You sometimes feel like, oh, it's long overdue, or sometimes you can miss the sessions in the flight. So before I start a vote of thanks, if you allow me, Honorable Minister, I would like to call on, I think, everyone who is beautifully dressed in blue to come forward as the organizing committee. Then I can start the vote of thanks.
Can you invite the police back?
Police band, you remember some slow music that used to be good, huh? No, Okay, thank you, policeman. In the interest of time, thank you, policeman. Thank you very much, policeman. Okay, thank you very much, policeman. I think just like the conference, I wasn't expecting that extra marginal from policeman, but I wasn't also expecting the quality that I had from this session, to be quite honest. But the last time we had the conference was in 2013, and we worked, I think, a month or slightly more to organize the conference, and there was a lot of hectic moments. And this time I decided to ask them to work 9 months ahead, around January or February. So everything that you see was done through a very, very long process, very tiring, I can imagine. Of course, very frustrating sometimes. I can see sometimes they want to exchange blows, but eventually it all came out good. So I think the first thanks start with them for putting up such a magnificent international conference, I think worthy of the statue. Of course, we also stream online, so we received a lot of feedback from people outside on how well it was prepared and then the areas that we can improve. So I start with them. Thank you everyone for your time. The last time I did a vote of thanks, I forgot Nana, and while I was coming, I saw they were coming in. I'm not sure if it's a trap, but then I will start with the National Nutrition Agency, always for the collaboration, and anyone who knows the history of the Social Protection Secretariat knows that it came out of a World Bank project. Again, I called on Fanta, who was part of the people who went on the study tour to Ghana with some National Assembly members. I always like to remember Madam for starting the whole thing. So today we are here because they worked on the policy, and then we are looking back over 10 years. So every ministry, agency, and department of government, we say thank you to you all. I want to stick to the protocol of proverb. You begin to name, you have problems. So thank you to everyone. And then we come to our friends, the development partners, the UN system. We thank you so much for the collaboration. The European Union, always in the background. I remember they always tell the Minister of Finance, we provide a lot of funding even to World Bank. And the Minister of Support, you don't see it directly. But thank you for your support. It's always appreciated by government, directly or indirectly. We are in it together, and we'll work on the next resilience building contract to ensure that we build the resilience of our people. And whatever we do in the Gambia, we try to align it to our regional commitments, and that starts with the community of ECOWAS. So we highly appreciate the presence of the ECOWAS at the conference for all the 3 days, and also contributed diligently all throughout. And the media who have been with us for the last 3 years. I think I passed by somewhere and they said, oh, I recognize you were on TV. So thank you very much for giving the highlights to the conference that it deserves. I think a lot of people followed outside, either through the live streams or also through the daily highlights that you provide. To our CSO organizations, Aging with Smile, Gambia Federation of the Disabled, for being with us for the past two days. I also see the Managing Director of Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. We thank you for the collaboration. Hopefully by the next conference, you will launch your first product for the informal sector. I know this is a dream for the Social Protection, for the Social Security and Housing Corporation. But in the interest of time, I would say that the conference proceedings reflect the diverse views that were expressed here, and which were led by the panelists and also our resource persons. And Honorable Minister, I would like to say that we had resource persons from 4 different countries, I think, country cases, and not a single one of them we paid for their air ticket or for their accommodation. They sacrificed to come and join us by paying for their entire trip to come. So I would like to appreciate them and give them a round of applause. And also to all the panelists in the Gambia who came and gave deliberations on the policy stance of government, from health to gender to all the other areas. We appreciate it. The importance of social protection is its diverse nature. So once you have a social protection conference and you don't have all the elements, then it's a missing piece. So on behalf of everyone who called themselves part of the organizing committee, we could not also have done it without the support. If it were an empty hall, then it would not be great. So for the audience who came all the way from the regions to here, the governors were with us. We thank them for their continued support. All the staff from Basse, all the other regions that came with it, and all the delegates that stayed with us for the 3 days. It was great. We missed these conversations again, but I like to say we can spend a lot of time on theory or in the classrooms, but I think now it's time for us to go to the field. As I promised in the first day, we will not have such mistakes so that we can implement quickly. We are ready to go and implement for the next 2 years and come back here and report what happened. Finally, the topics chosen, the discussions, they are all carefully chosen to reflect the need of our social protection system. And we are hopeful that the discussions will be very relevant. I give example of the ID card integration in Nigeria. We have completed nationwide, but now we are looking at integrating with the ID card or the civil births and civil registry, so that is timely and we'll try to learn from the lessons. We are targeting people using the PMT model advanced by the World Bank. We have a presentation that says how to improve the PMT model. So everything was carefully chosen to serve the need of the country in terms of building a robust social protection system. This morning I told Peter Gomez, if I'm very happy with what I'm doing or why social protection is today, I'll probably get a new job because I need motivation. So I am happy where social protection is in the country today because of government's unflinching support. But I am happier based on the path we are taking. But I'll be happiest if we reach our destination. Thank you, everyone.
You're on the right path.
Thank you very much for thanking us, Mr. Deba. We appreciate it. Just as he said, the organizing committee, I think I should also just add on to that a bit. The endless meetings, staying at the office after 4 o'clock, and then some people would want to go home. And Mr. Deba would say, no one is leaving until we finalize. I think it's all worth it. And at the end of the day, everyone is smiling today, so I think it was definitely worth it. And so now, we would, this is the final agenda for the GISPC 2025. We will have the official closing statement, and this will be delivered by the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and Gambians Abroad, His Excellency Mr. Sering Modu Jai, and he'll deliver the statement on behalf of the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia.
Thank you very much. Director, I wish I knew I was also going to be in blue so that I would be part of this great team. Thank you. And I also want to indicate that I have received the recommendations and I will certainly, deliver the statement accordingly. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Director of the National Social Protection Agency, Republic of the Gambia, the representative of the European Union, the representative of the United Nations Resident Coordinator, ably represented by my dear sister, representative of UNICEF, the World Bank, the representative of the ECOWAS Commission, my dear sister, senior government officials here present, managing directors and other director generals here present, members of the civil society, the media, director of music and the Gambia Police Band, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good afternoon. I have the honor, on behalf of His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mohammed B.S. Jalo, to deliver his statement due to other official commitments, who could not be here with us today. So allow me to deliver the statement. As we conclude this very important and inspiring gathering, I wish to sincerely thank each of you for your valuable time, the expertise and the courage you have brought to this very important dialogue. Over the past days, we have reaffirmed a shared truth. Social protection is not a luxury, but it is also a foundation of dignity and also an opportunity. When designed to be adequate, universal and well-governed social protection system can lift vulnerable groups out of poverty, support families through illness and disasters, and also empowers workers, especially those in the informal or precarious settings, to participate fully and confidently in the economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today we have renewed our collective commitment to consolidate the gains of the national social protection policy and to align the forthcoming policy with sub-regional and also international frameworks. First, we must adopt sustainable financing strategies in line with the Addis Ababa declarations on financing for development. This means prioritizing domestic resource mobilization. The government of the Republic of the Gambia, under the able leadership of His Excellency President Barrow, will continue to work with all stakeholders to create fiscal space through increased revenue mobilization and prudent expenditure management, so that social spending is both prioritized and safeguarded. We will strengthen social protection expenditures across all sectors and gradually increase pool funding through the Social Protection Force to meet rising demands, including enhanced support for persons with disabilities and greater synergy with the Disability Fund. Excellencies, we need financing model to reflect shared responsibilities, leveraging public and private resources responsibly. We must also strengthen governance, accountability, and monitoring systems, ensuring that every dollar spent translates into measurable and meaningful improvement in the people's life. Second, we must build adaptive and resilient social protection systems, ones that can respond effectively to crises, whether they stem from health emergencies, economic shocks, or climate-related disasters. A key opportunity lies in ensuring that the Gambia social registry remains dynamic and data-driven. By integrating real-time administrative data and enhanced systems interoperability, we can unlock the full potentials of our national social protection framework. To our development partners, I said, let us continue to engage, to exchange best practices, and to learn from one another through synergies, bilateral cooperations, regional initiatives, and global solidarity. This will ensure that our progress remains evidence-based, inclusive, and sustainable. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we are about to depart this conference, I urge all social protection actors to translate today's insights into actions. We owe it to the people we serve to move from intent to implementation, from conference rooms to communities from policy papers to realities of daily life. The task ahead is immense, but so too is the resolve of the government of the Gambia and the President Barrow to ensure that no one is left behind. Our success will be measured by every child lifted from poverty, every worker protected in times of crisis, every elder who lives with dignity, and every person with a disability who is fully supported and empowered. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on this note, may we say that our discussions here today must translate into decisive actions, and may our social protection policies and programs be guided by compassion and grounded in evidence. In conclusion, let us view social protection not merely as a policy instrument, but as a pledge to uphold the fundamental worth of every human being. The government of the Republic of the Gambia reaffirms its commitment to working with all stakeholders to ensure that the recommendations from the call to action paper are implemented. Together, let us move forward with renewed purpose, and may our collective work illuminate a path toward a more just and inclusive society for all of us. I also want to take this opportunity to wish all those who have joined us from far and near to return home safely. On this note, I want to thank you very much and to applaud the work of every one of us for a remarkable and a very successful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Honorable Minister. Mr. Diba did mention that he was thanking our resource persons, our international guests, and in recognition of that, I would like to inform all international delegates, all our resource persons and panelists, that you are invited to a small cocktail dinner this evening at the Bakadaji Hotel at 6 p.m. Yes, okay. So thank you very much for the closing statement, Your Excellency. And that being said, I don't think there's anything more to add. It's just to say that thank you all for coming, and we hope to see you, as Mr. Diba said, in 2 years, in 2027, for GISPC 3.0. So thank you all for coming, and see you in 2 years. Thank you very much.
Moderator, thank you too.
Thank you.
Oh yes, thank me too. Thank you. Talking is not easy, huh? Oh yes. So if we can just allow the high table to take their lead. Thank you very much. For participants as well.